the most powerful man in fine dining. Please welcome to the final table Alessandro Del Piero, Eleonora Cozella, and Andrea Petrini.
You see Andrea Petrini come out. He is easily
all right.
one of the most influential people in fine dining. It's a bit of a wake-up call that even the judging in this competition is really heating up.
So, Andrea, they call you the culinary star maker. I know all these chefs are looking at probably you.
Oh, only 4 incompletions last week. That's going to be hard.
Eating all over Italy. What is at the heart of Italian cooking?
I would say Italian
But we're going to go and try to
First
have
opened
Nick
back in
Chubb
1975.
break
There's
the
a look
receiving record
inside
this
the
week. Last
iconic
week he broke
Mercedes-Benz Superdome in
the NFL
downtown New
rushing record.
Orleans. Today,
touchdowns in the
after
game.
a
6.
crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Cleveland Browns. And look at this. Right away, a loose football.
Shoot. What the hell was all that about?
Detroit!
So they're playing.
A first carry for the rookie Nick Chubb. And this defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon.
Huh.
Well, they know how to protect the pass, but sometimes cornerbacks, they can also stop the run, can't they?
Is that what we call a complete corner? Yeah, because we're so used to these guys just being defenders in the pass game. How about the guys who can come up and make the tackles? That's what we just saw there for no gain, too.
And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. He's a second-round pick, a solid second-round pick. But when you're close to that first round, do you come in with a little chip on your shoulder?
You definitely do, because now your money's not the same. But even more than that, it's the prestige. Everyone wants to be a first-round pick, and he thought his talent demanded that. And I do know some teams in the league that had first-round grades on him.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago. Really, it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff.
A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. On first and 10, here's Breeze. Complete to Watson, the tight end. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 7 catches, 52 yards, and a touchdown.
And that was a nice job there pulling that one in. Now, this is an offense that will certainly spread the ball around a bit. And this is a guy that defenses had better focus on.
Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one goes for 24 yards.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
Breeze on the hook up to Thomas for the New Orleans first.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, Kamara. And he'll get a couple here down to the 22.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Sammy! Ready! You waiting?
Now Breeze on 3rd down. He rifles one that's
Good
intercepted.
cover up.
Picked off by the linebacker, Joe Schobert. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. Let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge. When you enter the game as the AFC Player of the Week award winner, you expect runs like that and then some.
It was fun to watch him in the opener last week in Week 1. He was spectacular and hoping for more here in Week 2. Mayfield to throw it, sliding out of the pocket. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, Mayfield. And he's got his man. That's Landry. First catch for last year's NFL catch leader, and it's a 1st down. Baker Mayfield, obviously the #1 pick overall. That was controversial, though. What ultimately made the Browns go in his way?
Well, post-draft, I did hear a Browns executive talk about the efficacy of Baker Mayfield. In other words, how people rally to him, how people respond to him. He talked about seeing him at a workout, how he showed up, yelled out to the other guys. They yelled back with the same response, ran right to him, and they were ready to start the workout. He said things like that and his talent tipped the balance in his favor to go #1.
To throw, Mayfield. Looking left side, Andrews with it complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a 1st down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and you can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down. A little risky there when you roll out of that pocket right like he did. You complete the pass, but you don't get anything out of it.
But how many times have we seen when a quarterback exits out of the
Whoa,
pocket?
why was Andrews over there? Okay, that was
the
weird.
defense loses its leverage, right? There's a little chaos back there, and receivers come open. Great discipline on that play. They didn't let that happen and held it to no gain.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And this ball is going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one. What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends are like in a sprinter stance. They're just...
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Emmanuel Ogbah in there to get him for a loss of 3, and it'll be 4th down.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10.
Watching that, Barney!
They go play action here on 1st down. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
A special moment for Calvin Ridley, the first touchdown catch of his NFL career, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. They scored the most points of anyone on opening weekend, and now first quarter touchdown here.
And while there's no guarantee that all the points they scored in opening weekend are going to hold up and be the average all year long, they're certainly starting to set that type of a pace. And what you do with that is you put in the heads of all of your opponents, we've got to really be ready on defense because these guys know how to put the ball in the end zone.
Do you think they can keep piling on the points like this?
I think they can if they're prepared to adjust and adapt because they won't see the same defenses week in and week out.
And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming, pick them up, pick them up. And someone jumped.
Now Breeze. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive.
Hey, fellas, we got 3. Let's go. Ready. Now we're waiting.
From the gun on 3rd down, Breeze. And that's caught by Smith. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that. Touchdown!
That's what we couldn't let happen.
A great effort there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Fielded about a yard deep. And not a bad punt return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
The Browns opted not to pick a running back with their first 2 selections at number 1 and 4 in the first round, but they circled back in the second round and got a really good one to Nick Chubb out of Georgia. Broke off a nice run there, and that's where he's good. Good vision, able to see where the hole is, and make nice gains each time he touches the ball.
An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And a solid run down inside the 30. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. Getting the sense Charles are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Browns with a football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Now Mayfield. Throw left side complete. It's Andrews. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. A gain of 6 there on first.
And that's exactly why the Ravens drafted him, added him to their stable after drafting Hayden Hurst in the first round. A second tight end who can catch the football. He looks like a guy who's going to line up on the line of scrimmage and mash you in the running game as a blocker. But his best attributes, splitting out, catching the football almost as an extra wide receiver.
It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. They go with Chubb on second down. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Big Sheldon Rankins there to bring him down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Saints coming out now to take the field. A good balance attack for that last touchdown drive they had. Now it's time to see if they can do that again.
It really becomes a tale of 2 play callers, doesn't it? The offensive guy, he's in sync. Everything's working pretty well. But for the defensive
what's going on the defensive side?
That's a tough one because he's prepped all week as well, and he can't get a bead on exactly what they're doing right now. What he needs is one of his guys just to make a big play and disrupt things. And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pick up there of 20 yards. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Tackle made there by Myles Garrett.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense, and guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Baker Mayfield leads the offense out for their next possession. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking. But the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Second down, Mayfield. Looking left side, that's caught by Landry. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender.
What do you mean by that, Burke?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield, then he curls back inside for the completion.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid-type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down.
Take it.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
No, check, Patriot!
A give. This is Chubb. Runs through the contact. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll try to throw here. Mayfield. That's complete over the middle to Callaway. And he's going to get this inside the 30. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
And off comes to Chubb. And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
Mayfield now on 2nd down. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Cameron Jordan in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well. One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
He got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
The dangerous Hill now to return. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around to make a play on the football.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Over the middle, complete. That's Carr. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. The reception good for 7. It's third down. The offense on third down tonight, they've only converted once in 4 tries. They're looking at third and a few inches. Off the play fake to Kamara. It's Breeze. Rush coming, and he's taken down. A minute 59 to go in the first half. We're back to New Orleans after this. A reminder coming up at halftime, the coach is back. He made it through the first weekend. That's the good news, and he's going to regale you with stats and scores from around the NFL here in the early games in Week 2.
You think he questioned coming back for Week 2, having to work with us?
I think he did. He's just happy that he is far away in Orlando. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
On second down, Mayfield again. And Callaway taking it in left side. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Mayfield now from the 50. Keeps himself upright. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down.
Well, the defensive guys won't be real happy because there won't be a sack on this play because he did get back to the line of scrimmage. But what a job they did overall. Hemmed him in and gave him nowhere to go with the football.
Throwing, Mayfield, and he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49.
the competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week. We just saw their first one of this game.
On third down, Mayfield. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Here's J.K. Scott now, as he's on to punt for Cleveland. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now we'll see what Michael Thomas and the rest of the offense has in store here. He's been good so far to this point in the second quarter. Need to get him even more involved, maybe?
I would agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, it's not even a question for me. The way he's playing, he's doing a nice job.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Joe Schobert. And he's given his guys a shot for late points as they will take over in range for a field goal or maybe more. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may force them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
Detroit!
Throwing again, Mayfield on 2nd and 10. That's taken in by Callaway. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. And they're left looking at 3rd and 8 after the second down pass play only went for 2. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. This is Johnson. He's got it. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. A bit of a surprise. They're going for it with 2 ticks remaining. No sign of the field goal unit. Final play of the half, Mayfield. And it's caught. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the third quarter. So we come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Browns with the lead. The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
To throw, it's Breeze.
Good hold.
And we're into the second half now. This is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Oh, he takes it in, doesn't let it bounce. He takes it at the 2. A good return there, 17 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the third quarter. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
And how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points.
He's got the lane, and there he goes.
Can't touch it.
And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Calvin Ridley, 81 yards. And the Browns add 6 to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. On the return, Dwayne Washington. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
12 yards there as they move the chains.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there, and if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Bree's going to try and throw on 3rd down. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
No, check, Patriot!
Now a 2nd down throw for Mayfield. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play. And there's a nice catch by Mike Gesicki, the rookie out of Penn State. And partner, you saw him when you were covering Big Ten football. He didn't block very many people, but that's not what they asked him to do. They asked him to go downfield and catch the balls we just saw there.
Yeah, absolutely right, and he can do it with the best of them. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. It's just a 32-yard punt with no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
Ready. Now we're waiting.
Throwing on 1st down is Breeze. And this will be incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Yellow waiting.
Shotgun now for Breeze. He gets it to Thomas. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think? A guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a tire breakdown on what the coverage was. Everyone thought they were doing something, and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he is and cover him on every play.
Pass interference, defense.
I tackled him.
This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
1st down.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
On 1st down, Breeze. Over the middle, it's Thomas. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
Okay, don't go back to the ball. Okay, that's fine.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. A monster game so far, 3rd quarter. He is lighting up the stat sheet.
And so many times when you see these types of games, you hear about the quarterback, or we talk about the quarterback throwing guys open, putting it in the right spot. Whoa! Some credit for the receivers,
Absolutely.
Who find ways to get open, whether they uncover late in a route or they get open early, but they just always find a way. And he's having that type of a game.
Yeah, he's been nearly impossible to cover. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. A run for Nick Chubb, and he'll take this from about 4 up to the 46-yard line. tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
No, check, Patriots!
And again, it's Chubb. Room to run inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 35-yard line. That good for 19 and a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll go left side on the ground with Chubb. And a short gain down to about the 33. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through.
Oh,
Didn't happen on
Jordan.
that play.
And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here. I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
It's a gain of 10, and the Browns are going to get a first down.
Baker breaking. Baker.
How many times do we hear that 3rd down may be the most important down in football, and there's no better example than what we just saw right there. Forced to scramble, knows where the first down marker is, dives for it, and gets it. What a big time.
And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Oh, back up. RJ time.
Okay, Carlo, it's decision time.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Steps away to his left. He may try and run for this. It'll be a gain of 9, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, partner, nothing comes open here, so he decides to escape out of there, and he doesn't pick up a first down, but he does gain additional yardage to set up a possible field goal attempt if they decide to go that route.
Gone!
Mayfield to throw for it on 4th. And he lost the football. The Saints say they have it, and they do. And they're going to come up empty here on 4th down.
All I know, partner, is that with every play call that came in, there was a little discussion about, hey, we can seal this bad boy. We can really put ourselves in a great spot to take total control, and yet they find a way to cough it up.
Yeah, the 2-score game opportunity eludes them, and now a chance for the other side to come back here.
Yeah, that means defense has to go out there and make some plays themselves. So we call sudden change. Let's see if the defense is mentally ready to take care of it.
We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard.
Malik Jefferson did a lot of that at the University of Texas, run down ball carriers and put them on the ground. And he played inside linebacker a lot while he was at UT. I like him better outside.
And Breeze is going to go down in the end zone, a safety. And Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10, just shy of the 30.
No, check, Patriot!
They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now this will go for 5 up to the 33.
third quarter and you've got the lead, you're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Browns football, and they've got the lead here as we start quarter number 4. Mayfield from the gun on third down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
Successful start to the drive, 17 yards. It moves the sticks. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45.
I've kept them under control like I
goes
have.
for 24 yards.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? Over the middle, open is Thomas. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Again, it's Breeze. And this is caught off a deflection.
Oh, wow.
So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch.
Now that's a defensive coordinator's nightmare right there. You're covering everyone, and the guy's not even the intended receiver ends up making the play.
Right place, right time, I guess.
When that ball's tipped up in the air like that, you've got to go up and get it. Offense and defense, and in this case, the offense ended up grabbing it.
Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Breeze will try again on second down. And that's incomplete. This drive, which was going so smoothly, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a roadblock here with 2 straight incompletions.
Yeah, apparently this defense has had enough. Apparently they're saying, no more. We're making a stand right here, right now. But it is 3rd and 10. They've got to get after him one more time.
Throwing now is Breeze. He hits his target, left side, Watson. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. Did they maybe play that too safely on 3rd down? I know you don't want to just throw a ball blindly downfield, but that didn't help them a whole lot.
I think they probably said if it's open, take the shot. If not, get something safe because we do have 4th down to try and pick it up.
And Lutz's kick is good. And that'll move them back within 6 now. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
And there's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get it the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the Browns offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back at New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Now a first down carry by Jones. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Well, a clear running situation. Try to take time off the clock. You ran the previous play, set that play action up nicely.
Boy, did they ever, because they had shown the ability to run the football. So now you lose your keys as a defense. You dive for the running play, and they hit them over the top.
Mayfield to throw it. His throw incomplete. There defensively to break that one up, Ken Crawley.
Quick hands that time to knock that one away. It sure looked like a short touchdown, but able to get a good break on the football and force the incompletion.
From the gun, Mayfield. This will be caught at about the 5. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack.
And he takes this one in for a Brown score. Ronald Jones, his second touchdown on the season. And the Browns add on to their lead. Solid job up front, really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown.
Now.
Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion.
He's got daylight. The 40. Past the 20. 10. Touchdown. New Orleans. A great play there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Saints have cut it back within a score. And that big fourth quarter return, Charles, makes this a one-score game.
And now it all comes down to philosophy. All right, they just had the big return for a touchdown, so the momentum is high. Do you want to ride that and go for 2? Or do you just go ahead and kick the extra point and come back and rely on your defense?
That's fielded in the end zone. Oh, what a move. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And the Browns getting set to go. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 26. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. So the solid run on first, and I would imagine no real hurry to run that second down play.
No, it's all in your quarterback now. He's going to keep an eye on the play clock and bleed things down, and he's not going to let the ball be snapped until it's inside 3 seconds left on the play clock. Unless, of course, you're playing a video game, you're trying to run it up on your friend.
Nice touch. Cold-blooded, too. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is that right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short game when they took off running.
And he'll have it past midfield, almost close to the 40 before
nice
being taken down. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Here's Mayfield. He's got his man. It's Andrews. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be third down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. Working out of the gun. Mayfield underneath for Johnson. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that's going to make it fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
Now we'll see what Michael Thomas and the rest of the offense has in store here. And the stats on his game, they really tell the story. A strong start. I don't know that the defense has really changed a whole lot as opposed to maybe just sticking to that game plan and shutting him down now.
I like where you're going with that because normally we talk about adjustments and drastic changes in a game plan in order to shut someone down. But in this case, maybe they're just sticking with what they worked on all week and they're just making better plays. And so far, they've got to like what they've been doing in the second half.
That'll go as a loss of 5. A false start backs them up 5. First and 15. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. And that's off the mark, incomplete. So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down.
Ready. Yellow lady.
From the gun, it's Breeze. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Watson. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a first down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Now Breeze. And an alley to run. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
On second down, here's Breeze. And Watson has it right side. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. That'll put him right at 99 yards receiving now as he's got a first down.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, he usually gets it done. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
Now Breeze. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Carr. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. That'll put him at 66 receiving yards now for the game. And he's got a first down.
Ready.
Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Ready. Yellow lady.
On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. It's caught on the right side at Smith. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. First down now, but that clock rolling. They'll look to throw. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Joe Schobert in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Joe Schobert in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Now Breeze got to have this one. That's to his running back, complete. They get the completion but cannot push forward into the end zone. And that'll be just about all she wrote for this one. So they'll trudge off the field with a bitter taste in their mouths after that failed 4th down conversion.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of analysis there on the sidelines. Was it the right call? Was it against the right defense? Should they have even gone for it at all? Will that change what they do going forward in this game? A lot of questions to be answered by them. The defense doesn't really care. They're like, bring it on again. We'll stop you the next time, too.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. To throw, Mayfield. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. As the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the 4th. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here.
Lucky 56.
Mayfield to throw. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And he'll be down deep into New Orleans territory. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. A real field flipper there, as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And his throw is incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Well, the lead late in the 4th, but Mayfield's going to throw it. Flush to his right. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it. Coverage there by Von Bell.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
On 3rd down, here's Jones. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves them with a 4th down now. They'll run it with Jones. And this doesn't end well at all as they stop him far behind the line to gain. Hugh Jackson rolls the dice, but it doesn't work for him. And the Saints will have the football back. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a 3rd situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals after a catch. Just got to be prepared, stay on your feet defensively, and tackle someone.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
Incomplete pass there is probably the best scenario going, because if he catches the football, clock's probably going to run out in that situation.
And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
Wow.
So for the Browns, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head home next week to take on the New York Jets. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons.
Oh, Schobert knows.
So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Good game.